Today we're going to talk about the optimal upgrade priority for everything at Town Hall level 8. Let's go. Alright, like I said, we're going to take a look at the upgrade priorities for everything at Town Hall 8. That's going to include all the buildings, that's going to include the laboratory, that's going to include the hero equipment, which you do unlock at Town Hall 8. And that is going to be very helpful. And then at the end of the video, I am going to give you guys some bases to work with, including this one, but also some bases you can run in wars. But with that, let's go ahead and jump in. So starting off with some of the building upgrade priorities, your main priority basically at any Town Hall level is going to be starting off with your offensive stuff. Town Hall 8 is going to be no different. So you do want to start off upgrading your king, upgrading your laboratory, and your clan castle. Those should be basically the three first things that you focus on. Of course, the king is going to be Dark Elixir, so he can be kind of separate and on his own thing. The other two things are going to be Elixir, and then everything in this little section is going to be Elixir to follow it up. So you also want to get your barracks upgraded, get your dark barracks upgraded. Those will also be priority. You're also going to want to get your blacksmith unlocked as quickly as you can so that you have access to upgrade your equipment, and we'll go over the equipment a little bit later. And then finally, you can also unlock and upgrade the Dark Spell Factory. So the Dark Spell Factory at Town Hall 8 does go up to level 2, and that does give you a couple of new spells to work with. So as far as Elixir and Dark Elixir goes, those are going to be your highest priorities, and they're going to be your highest priorities in general. It's always going to be easier for you at any new Town Hall level to get your offense upgraded as quickly as you can. Now, the other thing you want to focus on basically right off the bat getting to Town Hall 8 is just unlocking all the new things. So there are some things that you can purchase with gold, a few new defenses, some more traps. You want to get those unlocked, and then once you have everything unlocked, and once you're either done with your offensive stuff or you just don't have Elixir but you have a builder available, then you can start working on your gold stuff. And this is the priority that I recommend for upgrading things with gold, which is going to be basically all your defenses. So the first thing that's going to be a priority at Town Hall 8 is going to be the air defenses, because just like at Town Hall 7, you're going to get hit with a lot of dragon attacks at Town Hall 8, so you're going to want those air defenses upgraded as quickly as you can. Now, there are going to be some ground troops, so we will change up the rotation a bit for which defenses you upgrade just a little bit from Town Hall 7. But after air defenses, another really good one to do is get your Teslas leveled up. I believe they go up 2 levels at Town Hall 8. It might be 3, but it's a couple of levels at least. You want to get those maxed out. And then after that, for the same reason as the air defenses, you want to get your sweeper going. But once you got those out of the way, the archer towers are great because they target air and ground, and that adds a lot of DPS. Same thing for the wizard towers, but they provide the splash damage. So they'll do splash damage onto any balloons that are coming in or hog riders. After the wizard towers, we're going to switch things up and focus on the ground targeting defenses. And we're going to start with the bomb tower. At Town Hall 8, the hog riders do come into play, and the bomb tower is a great counter for the hog riders. They do lots of splash damage when they're hitting and when they get destroyed, so you're going to want to get that unlocked and leveled up. After that, then I recommend doing the cannons, and that's just going to add some more ground DPS to take care of any ground troops that are coming in. And then we're going to switch from regular defenses to traps. As you can see here, the spring traps are going to be your best friend for anti-hog rider. Same thing with the skelly traps and the giant bombs, and basically anti any ground troop, especially for the skelly traps. Spring traps maybe not so much, but the giant bombs do add some nice damage, and the skelly traps obviously can add some nice distraction and damage. And then finally, the lowest things on your priority list as far as gold upgrades go are going to be your mortars and your mini bombs. I definitely recommend doing these last. The mortars are going to give you extra war weight, which you don't necessarily need right away. They are not as important as they were in previous levels, so there's no rush to get these upgraded. Now, the other things that you do have to upgrade outside of this, I would recommend also doing the collectors to, I think they go up another level or 2, I can't remember exactly which, but your collectors and storages, you can do them basically last or whenever you want if you have an extra builder but not a lot of extra resources. I don't believe you need your storages, but if you do need your storage upgrades done, then go ahead and do that. It's not an upgrade, it's a new storage that you can level up, so you can do this at any point. It's not a huge priority unless you find yourself doing a big upgrade that you need the extra storage. I don't think there are any at Town Hall 8, but there may be, especially with the Dark Elixir. You might need that leveled up to get some of your troops leveled up or your king. So if you need the storage, that would be the time to do it. So that's everything as far as buildings go, as far as priority goes. And like I said, if you want to copy this base, I've got it set up this way so that you can kind of work through it. The link for this base is down in the description below, and the way that I like to use these bases when I use them myself for keeping track of upgrades, when I actually max something out, I will just take it and move it over to this side, and then that way I can visually see, you know, what do I have left. Obviously this account's max, but if it weren't, then that would be a way for me to quickly at a glance see what is next to be done. And you can also move the walls because, of course, as you move things over, you're going to run out of space. Just, you know, select the walls, and then you can just kind of pile them up over there, same thing, and get them out of your way once they are done. The reason the walls are in sections of 5, I always have found it easier, like mainly at these lower levels, but at this level, you can just select all and then upgrade 5 at a time. I found that to be the most efficient way to upgrade walls up until a certain point, but definitely at Town Hall 8, it's going to be the easiest way to go. Now, as far as when do you want to do your walls, I kind of just recommend doing them as you go, a little bit here and there. Don't necessarily try to push all your walls done early unless you really want them to be done early, or maybe don't necessarily save them all for the end, because if you save all of your walls for the end, you're going to be ready for Town Hall 9 and none of your walls are going to be done. So definitely kind of work on walls here and there and try to get them at least decently upgraded before the rest of your base is done and ready for Town Hall 9. It's okay to go up another Town Hall level before all your walls are done if everything else is done and ready to go. I feel like if you sit back at Town Hall 8 or any Town Hall just to do walls, it is going to slow you down, but I mean, to each their own. If that's what you want to do, if you want your base to be 100% max, then by all means go for it, but that is what I would recommend here. Now, looking at equipment for Town Hall 8, you can see I haven't done much with mine, but for equipment at Town Hall 8, you don't have a lot to work with, so I'm going to go over this really quickly for what you should prioritize. First of all, the Rage Vial is your best piece of equipment at Town Hall 8, so I would recommend leveling that up first, try to get it maxed out. If you have the Giant Gauntlet, then the Rage Vial and the Giant Gauntlet are really going to be the best equipment for your king ever, period. So just upgrade those, and then once you got some spare ores, maybe upgrade some of the other pieces in case you want to try out the other ones. But if you have the Giant Gauntlet, it is incredibly good, and there's really no reason to run anything else, and the Rage Vial just pairs with it perfectly. Now, for a lot of people who don't have the Giant Gauntlet, you're probably wondering, do I want the Barbarian Puppet, or do I want the Earthquake Boots? And the answer to that is it depends on what kind of attack strategy you want to use. So the Barbarian Puppet and the Earthquake Boots are both very good. Also, by the way, if you're looking for attack strategies for Town Hall 8, check out my previous video. I do go over that a bit more in depth, and I'm not really going to go over it at all in this video, so definitely check that out if you want to see it. But long story short, if you want to run the Earthquake Boots, this is going to be more helpful for ground attacks or for any attack where you want to get your king inside the base or get other troops inside of the base that are obviously not flying. So basically ground attacks, you want Earthquake Boots. If you're doing dragons or any kind of air attack, or if you're just using the king for a funnel on the outside of the base, the Barbarian Puppets are going to be better because they're going to give the king a little bit more of a push on the outside of the base. Plus, if you're trying to avoid pulling the clan castle troops for any air attacks, then that's going to keep the king away from the clan castle a bit longer. So you're always going to want the Rage Gem, but the other two equipment here are going to depend on what attack strategy you want to run. Before we wrap this video up, let's take a look at the laboratory and talk about the troop upgrade priority. So the very first thing you're going to want to upgrade in your laboratory is going to be the dragon, and the reason for that is it's going to be just one upgrade and you've got a very strong army at your fingertips. Whereas if you wanted to do a Hog Rider army, it's going to be strong, but you got to upgrade the Hog Riders, you got to upgrade the Golem, you got to upgrade the heal spell. With the dragons, it's pretty much one and done, and that is an incredibly strong army. Now, there are other things you can upgrade to make the dragons a bit stronger, but once you have the dragons leveled up, they are very good. Now, after that dragon upgrade, you got a couple of different ways to go, and what I would say is kind of think about what type of attacks you would like to use in your wars or in your farming, mainly in your farming, because those are the most attacks you're going to do. What I like to do is I like to farm with my war attacks just so I can get the extra practice, but we'll talk a little bit more on what type of farming attacks to do. But first of all, if you want to lean into the dragon army, then your next upgrades would be the rage spell and the balloons. You're going to want to get both of those upgraded next, and then after that, you're also going to want to do the lightning spell, and then finally the minion. But if you want to go with some ground armies, you can do the Hog Rider followed up by the Golem, and then the heal spell and the rage. And if you want to, you can do the P.E.K.K.A. afterwards, the Valkyrie, and then the Wizard. The Wizard's going to be more important. I would actually do the Wizard before the P.E.K.K.A. and the Valkyrie, just because for Hog Riders you have to have cleanup troops, and leveling up your Wizard's going to be helpful for that. If you want to do different ground attack strategies, like if you want to do P.E.K.K.A. Smash, then of course you're going to want to go with the P.E.K.K.A. after that, and then Golem and heal. So basically what I'm saying is upgrade what you're going to be using the most next for your war attacks and get that up as soon as you can. Now, if you don't want to farm with one of these war attack strategies like dragons, hall riders, P.E.K.K.A.s, whatever, if you want to farm with smaller troops like archers, barbarians, and goblins, I would suggest upgrading those after the dragon. So make those your priority once your dragon is at the next level. That way you can farm more efficiently and then later on upgrade what's going to be used for your war attack. But you've already got the dragons leveled up, so you already have a strong war attack to lean on before you upgrade whatever else it is you might want to use. I will go through the list of the rest of the priority. I mentioned most of these already. After the barb, archer, goblin, and all the other troops that I've already talked about, then you want to upgrade the wall breaker and then the giant. You can upgrade the poison spell and the earthquake spell later on, because before those are upgraded, of course, you could take one in your clan castle. And then the very last thing you want to upgrade are the healers, because they're just not useful at Town Hall 8, but they are going to be very useful at Town Hall 9, so you're going to want to get the jump on that before you get to Town Hall 9, because once you get there, then you're going to want to level it up. But when you're at Town Hall 8, it is not a big priority, and if you happen to not get to it before you're ready for Town Hall 9, then it's really not that big of a deal. Those are my suggestions for all the upgrade priorities at Town Hall 8. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please do leave them down in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer them. Then one last thing before we wrap up this video, for those of you at Town Hall 8, if you want some war bases, I'm going to share my current war bases with you guys. They should do pretty well for you in your wars, or if you want to set them as your farming base as well, that could also work out for you. But here is the first one. So this will be base number 1 in the links down below. This here will be base number 2. And then finally base number 3. And again, these base links will be down in the description below, as well as the progress base that I showed throughout most of the video, so you guys can find all those down below. And that is going to be a wrap for this video. I will be posting the Town Hall 9 upgrade guide here very soon, so definitely keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I recommend checking out some attack strategies for Town Hall 8 right here.